Good day, welcome back to my channel, and today we'll be discussing we're on the topic of algebra. So we'll be discussing how to solve algebraic equations. So now let us discuss some terms, right? And the first one is variable. A variable, these are basically the letters which represent number. And a common example of a variable is x, right? But note that variables can come from any letter in the alphabet, and you know the alphabet ranges from A to Z. So the variable can be X, Y, A, B, E, etc. So now let's go to another term, and this is called a coefficient. A coefficient is the number which comes before the variable, right? Or before the letter. So an example could be 2x. 2 is the number which comes before the variable x. So therefore, the 2 would be the coefficient, right? And another example could be 3x, right? 3 is a coefficient because it comes before the x. And another example could be 3a, 3b, etc. Right? And another thing to write, when you see 2x, it means 2 times x. And same with 3x, it means 3 times x. And if you see like 4a, it means 4 times a. So that's basically what it is saying. Now, let's discuss what a term is. A term is when a coefficient and a variable comes together. So example, 10x. 10 would be the coefficient as it is a number which comes before the variable, right? So 10 is a coefficient. X is the variable, right? So when a coefficient and a variable comes together, it forms a term. So therefore, 10x is a term. Another example could be 9b, right? As 9 is a coefficient, b is a variable. So therefore, when they come together, they form a term. So now, let us go to solving algebraic equations. So what we have on screen is x plus 1 is equal to 6, right? In algebra, the main aim we want to do is to get x by itself, right? So to do this, we need to eliminate the number that is beside the variable x, right? And what number is that? That is positive 1. So to do that, we need to do the opposite of positive 1 to get rid of that 1, right? So now, what is the opposite of positive 1? That is negative 1, right? And in an equation, what we do to one side, we do it to the other. So if we want minus 1 from the left-hand side, we have to minus 1 from the right-hand side. And if we realize, positive 1 and negative 1 will cancel each other, leaving you with 0, right? So you got x by itself on the left-hand side. So you have now x is equal to 6 minus 1, right? So therefore, x is equal to 5. And the nice thing with algebra is that you can always check if your answer is right or wrong. So the answer which you get, which is 5, you just plug it back into the equation and see if it equals to 6, right? So x was equal to 5. So 5 plus 1 is equal to 6. And we know that it is true. So now, let us say, for example, let's say you got 4 as the answer, right? And you said 4 plus 1 is equal to 6. You know that is wrong. So that's a good thing. If you make a mistake in algebra and you substitute the answer and it's not logical, you can always know that you can double check and do it over. So that is a good thing with algebra. Okay, so for this one, we have x plus 5 is equal to 11, right? So I discussed, we always want to get the variable x by itself, right? So to do this, we need to get rid of a number that's beside the variable. And 5 is beside x, right? So to get rid of it, we need to do the opposite of positive 5, and that is negative 5, right? So minus 5 from the left-hand side, and what you do to one side, you do it to the other. So now if you minus 5 from this side, right, you have to also minus 5 from this side. So the minus 5, the negative 5 will cancel the positive side, the positive 5 on the left hand side, right? So now you're left with x is equal to 11 minus 5, and therefore x is equal to 6. And we know this is true because 6 plus 5 will give us 11. So let's do another one. Okay, so this one says x minus 6 is equal to 12, right? So we want to get rid of the number that's beside x, right? The variable. So to do so, right, we need to do the opposite of negative 6, which is positive 6. So now we'd add 6 to the left hand side, right? And it's an equation. What we do to one side, we do to the other. So if you add 6 on the left hand side, you have to also add 6 on the right hand side, right? So the negative 6 and the positive 6 will cancel each other. So therefore, we're left with x is equal to 12 plus 6, and therefore x is equal to 18. So 18 minus 6 definitely would leave us with 12. So let's go to a question in algebra which involves a term. So this question states 3x plus 3 is equal to 9. So when you have a term, right, in algebra, the main aim is to get the variable x by itself. But being that we have a term, right, first we want to get rid of the number that's beside the term, which is 3x, right? And which number is beside the 3x? And that is 3. Right? This 3 here. So now, the number that's beside the term, which is this 3 here, right? We need to minus 3 from both sides, right? So first minus 3 from the left hand side, and now it's an equation. What you do to one side, you do it to the other, right? So now, the 3's on the left hand side will cancel each other out. So we're going to be left with 3x is equal to 9 minus 3. And therefore, we know that 9 minus 3 would leave us with 6. So 3x is equal to 6. So now the equation is not finished here as yet, right? We need to get x by itself, the variable. So if you realize, we need to get rid of this 3 here now, right? And so we need to do the opposite of multiplied, because we know that, as we discussed earlier, 3x means 3 multiplied by x. That's what 3x means, right? So if it means 3 multiplied by x, what we need to do to get rid of these 3? We need to divide, the opposite of multiplication, right? So we divide both sides by 3, right? So we know the 3 on the left hand side will cancel each other. So we're left with x is equal to 6 over 3, which can be simply reduced to 2. Let's see if our answer is correct. So what we need to do is to substitute 2 into the equation and see if we get back the 9. So it'll be 3 multiplied by the 2, right? Plus the 3 is equal to 3 times 2 will give us 6, plus 3 will give us 9. So if we realize that when you substitute back the 2 into the equation, we got back the 9. So therefore, that is correct. Let's move to another question. This one states 6y plus 3 is equal to 15, right? So our main aim is to get the is to get the variable y by itself, right? It's not x this time. So when you have a term, what you want to do is to first get rid of the number that's beside the term, right? And what number is beside 6y? Which is the 6y, the term. That would be 3, right? So what we need to do is to get rid of this positive 3 to do the opposite of positive 3, which is negative 3. So minus 3 from the left hand side, and it's an equation. What you do to one side, you do it to the other. So therefore, the 3 on the left hand side will cancel each other, which will leave us with 6y. So 6y is equal to 15 minus 3, right? So therefore, 6y is equal to 12, because when you take 3 from 15, you get 12. So now we established that 6y means 6 multiplied by y. So to get y by itself, we need to do the opposite, which is to divide 6 by both sides. So therefore, y is equal to 12 over 6, which can be reduced to 2. So y is equal to 2. So let's see when we substitute 2 into the equation, if we get back the 15. So 6 multiplied by 2 plus 3 is equal to 15. 6 2s is 12 plus 3 gives you back the 15. So there, you know that your answer is correct. Let's go to another one. So this one states minus 5a plus 5 is equal to 25, right? So you know we want to get rid of a number that's beside the term first, right? So which number is that? That number is positive 5. So to do that, with minus 5 from both sides, right? And you know the 5s will cancel out each other, positive 5 and a negative 5. So therefore, we're left with minus 5a is equal to 25 minus 5, right? And therefore, minus 5a is equal to 25 minus 5 will leave us with 20. And to get a by itself, we need to divide minus 5 from both sides, right? Not minus, sorry, divide 5 by both sides, right? Of the equation. So when you divide minus 5 from both sides, we're left with a is equal to minus 5 into positive 20 would leave us with minus 4, right? Because you know when we're dividing a positive number, a negative number into a positive number, would get a negative number. So therefore, a is equal to negative 4. So let's see what if when we substitute negative 4 into the equation, if we'll get back the 25. So now the equation was minus 5a plus 5 is equal to 25, right? So it'd be minus 5 multiplied by negative 4, because we got minus 4 as a, plus the 5, right, is equal to 25. And we know a negative times a negative gives us a positive. So minus 5 times minus 4 will give us positive 20 plus the 5. And 20 plus 5 gives you 25. So therefore, we know our answer is correct. So let's go to another one, right? So this one is a bit different. X plus 4 divided by 5 is equal to 20, right? So when we're approaching questions like this, if you realize you have a fraction, right? X plus 4 over 5, right? And it's equal to 20. So when you have a question like this, we normally want to get rid of the denominator, which is 5 in the fraction first, right? So to do this, we'll multiply both sides by 5, right? To cancel, to get rid of the 5. So 5 over 1 multiplied by x plus 4 over 5 is equal to 20 multiplied by 5. Because it's an equation, what you do to one side, you have to do it to the other. So 5 will cancel each other, right? So therefore, we're left with x plus 4 is equal to 20 by 5, 20 multiplied by 5, right? And we know that's 100. So therefore, x plus 4 is equal to 100. So now we know we'd want to get rid of the number that's beside x, right? To get x by itself, which is positive 4. So we have to do the opposite, which is to minus 4 from both sides, right? So therefore, the 4's will cancel each other, and we're left with x is equal to 100 minus 4. And 4 from 100 would leave us with 96. So to see if we're correct, we're going to substitute 96 wherever we see x. So 96 plus 4 divided by 5 would leave us with 100, right? Because 96 plus 4 is 100 over 5, which would leave us with 5 into itself goes 1 time, 5 into 100 goes 20 times. So we'll be left with 20. So therefore, our answer is right. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something new. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.